Today was the release of Glitch's next indie pilot, Knights of Guinevere. In this video, I'll give a quick synopsis of what all happened in the pilot, and then I'll move on to discuss the things I liked and disliked about it. I hope you enjoy. So, the pilot starts off with some flashback sequences showing off the story of Park Planet and its founders. We get an introduction to a specific Gwen, and also our first time meeting Andy and Frankie, the two main protagonists. Fast forward many years, and we catch up with Andy and Frankie in the current year. They unearth the Gwen from the beginning, and Sparky wants to sell it for money. We find out that Olivia is now very old and wants to hunt down Gwen, sending one of her massive robots to find her. After an altercation with Sparky, Andy and Frankie agree to work with him to rebuild Gwen. While heading to the repair station, they're attacked by a massive robot who nearly kills the group. Gwen stops and kills the robot in a really gruesome sequence. They make it to the repair station and Gwen wakes up in a dreamlike sequence, seeing the pair as children again, and the pilot ends. So with the synopsis covered, let's get into my thoughts. We'll start off with the things I liked. I actually loved this pilot. I had some decent expectations for it, but it exceeded them really quickly. First up, the 2D art style is gorgeous. Throughout the pilot, we get these beautiful wide shots of the world and it really gets you engrossed in the setting. There's clearly a ton of attention to detail here and it elevates the experience so much. The art style sets it apart from the other shows in Glitch's portfolio, but it feels similar to Dana's other works. Regardless of what happens, your eyes will be glued to the screen because it's just so awesome. Hats off to the art department, they cooked here. In terms of story and world building, it's rock solid. We get a mix of story-driven plot segments contrasted with some fun gags. It doesn't have as much humour as the Digital Circus or Murder Drones, for example, but I did find myself laughing a few times while watching. This contrasted great against the horror segments. The blood and gore was top notch and it worked so well in combination with the cutesy dreamlike segments. There's some lovely contrast going on there. The plot worked to build up the characters and we quickly learn their motivations. Andy and Frankie work well as a duo, and although we didn't see Gwen interact too much with them, it's clear as day that they're going to be an awesome group of three in future episodes if the show is fully greenlit. Unfortunately, just due to the way the plot was focused, we didn't get much time with the main villains of the story, like Olivia and Orville, but we did see one villain being Sir Arthur. I love this guy. The way he walked with one hand holding his massive sword was just pure aura. It gave me vibes of a Dark Souls or Elden Ring boss and it was amazing. The way he terrorized the group the entire time and Gwen battled him only to be defeated off screen. As a one-off villain, he was dope, and it sets the bar high for future villains in the series. It definitely feels like since Olivia is so old and frail, she'll instead continue to send these armies of mechanized soldiers to take on the protagonists. In terms of pacing, it was quite slow, definitely the slowest pilot from Glitch so far. But I think that worked here. It gave us time to get attached to the characters and the world. Although the Gaslight District was great, it had the opposite issue of being too fast, so it was hard to figure out what was going on. Here, the story took its time, it flowed well, and gave the world an opportunity to breathe. If future episodes continue with this relaxed pacing, I think it'll be awesome. As for the voice acting, I had no complaints at all. A few of my favourites would be Sparky, Frankie and Andy. If we check the cast list at the end, we can see a few characters had reused voices, and I didn't pick up on this at all while watching, apart from when Sir Arthur spoke. Sometimes in other shows they can reuse too many actors and it feels a bit samey. Here, that wasn't the case. The actors all have an incredible range and did a brilliant job. One thing which myself and a lot of fans picked up on in the pre-release material was the jabs at Disney. It's clear as day in the actual show that KOG is its own thing. It took a few of the Disney ideas and made it into a phenomenal story. So with the things I liked covered, is there anything I disliked? So normally I would have a bunch of things to say, but I think in this case I don't really. The first thing that I can mention is that I thought the ending was a little abrupt. Like I said earlier, the pacing and the story was phenomenal, and I think it was so good that when it ended I was on the edge of my seat and didn't expect it. I think this is especially true if you watch the premiere of the pilot compared to if you watch it a little later. Maybe there could have been an extra minute or two, I'm not quite sure. Though it would be hard to add in any more because if it went over the 30-minute mark it could impact the pacing. Maybe I'm alone on this. If you thought the same way, let me know down below. I was also expecting some more horror elements. As I said earlier, I was a big fan of what we got, but I thought there'd be a bit more gore and violence. I'm 100% certain they'll remedy this in future episodes though. So overall, what do I think? I loved it. I had high expectations for Knights of Guinevere and it exceeded them by a long shot. It had an interesting premise, an engaging story, mixed with a fun selection of characters. If I was to compare it to Glitch's other selection of shows, I'd say it's just below The Amazing Digital Circus, but easily Glitch's second best indie pilot thus far. I'm excited to see what's in store for Knights of Guinevere, and I'll definitely be making more videos about it. So what do you think? Do you agree with some of my takes? Did you enjoy the pilot? Let me know down below. As always, thanks for watching.